I got infinity money.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast. And you know how we got to start off?
This is going to be a recurring. This might become a recurring theme, Earl. You got to brace yourself.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a recurring theme.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Omar, we can't see you back there. Oh, he's got the towel. Oh, he's got the towel.
Let's go!
The towel might be bigger than Omar.
Let's go!
Say that one more time with the headset on, Earl.
So the towel might be bigger than Omar.
It's not. Fuck you. It's not. It's vertically. No, vertically, it's like up to here. I was just holding it up to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. But yeah, amazing game last night, dude. That game was that game had me biting my nails because we're down 5, or we're up 5.
Intro in the episode.
Yeah, that's how we're introing the episode.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we're interested. Why'd you do that?
No, hello everybody. Welcome back to the.
I did.
Oh, you did?
No, yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Hello everybody. Welcome to the. Right, guys. Come on. I you know me. I always address the audience.
And the down thing, though. I'm not gonna lie.
What? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Next to me is Earl. Below me is Max. Welcome to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast. Man, that game last night was crazy. Oh my god. Shout out Josh fucking Hart, man. Shout out Josh Hart.
Laker great. Former Laker great.
Yeah, seriously.
Bro, was he doing this on the Lakers, or did he just
I love Josh Hart. Like people don't realize he's always had that in him. Even when it was the days of like the light skinned duo, him, Lonzo, and Brandon Ingram, or I should say trio. Like they had nasty work going. So I'm happy that he's thriving, man, in New York.
Yeah, bro. Did you ever think he'd lead the playoffs in offensive rebounds? Was that ever on the table?
I mean, not saying he couldn't, but I just didn't know that he would just be that aggressive on the glass. So I would just say I'm surprised, but at the same time, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like a little bit, like he's capable of it, but I didn't know he was going to go out there and do it.
Last
I didn't
night,
think he'd do this, so I don't think there's any shame in thinking that a 6'4" guard would ever lead.
Okay, I have it. So he had 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists in 48 minutes. It's not like he's not playing. He's never getting off the court. That's the vibe I'm getting at. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of see him starting if Julius Randle comes back. Like, do we keep dude? He's became our Luol Deng, because if we're going based off of what Tom Thibodeau did in Chicago, if we're going off of, honestly, that might be the vibe. Honestly, that might be the vibe.
Get another piece that actually fits really well together and work from there.
That's the thing. I think Julius is going to end up fitting really well. I think he's going to have to adjust his game one more time. But man, we've felt dude, you know how many times he switched his game in the amount of time he's been in New York? He's switched his game up. Julius Randle has switched his game up at least 4 times.
But how many times does Julius want to switch his game up?
He said he will switch his game up if it means they win. So I mean, I think he will do what Tom Thibodeau is going to ask him to do, because that I gotta say, I don't think I've ever seen a more cohesive squad than this New York 2024 Knicks squad.
Well,
minus Randle.
Minus Randle, yes. Minus Randle.
Well, I would second that and say the Timberwolves right now. But
they are amazing.
Yes.
Anthony Edwards, I slept on him. I was in the sleeper chat talking shit. I will be the first one to admit when I am wrong. Bro, was I off on the Minnesota Timberwolves being a fake seed? I was on ESPN. I was like, they're a fake top seed. I was talking hot shit about the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Omar, I'll just scroll and I'll just randomly open comments on the sports page, and Omar's like typing crazy stuff.
On ESPN? Wait,
ESPN, what? NBA, all these like main.
There was this post earlier in the year, something about the Timberwolves, and I was like, they're a fake top seed.
Oh, I need these receipts. I'm not on that.
I'll show you.
If you go on TikTok,
because this guy who I was arguing with, he was right, and I hate that he was right. But now he keeps sending GIFs as comments. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm gonna restrict you. You're getting annoying. He sends GIFs as like memes.
Okay. GIFs.
I said GIFs? My bad. I meant GIFs.
Thank you.
I meant GIFs.
Can we all agree it's GIFs real quick?
Okay. Yeah, GIFs.
Okay. Just like it's Lori.
GIF is peanut butter.
Just like Lori. Just like Lori instead of Lowry. Instead of Lori.
Lowry Markkinen.
It's Kyle Lowry Markkinen.
Oh my.
Lowry.
We're not doing this again. You're changing the A.
The playoffs now,
but the way you pronounce
look,
Lowry, Lori is you're pronouncing the A like it's an O.
I don't think how the name is said. That's just how it's said.
I'll say this. I think like speaking like the Knicks, like they just played with a lot of energy. Like that's why I was so excited for this matchup, this series, which I think is gonna go like 6 or at least 6, but probably 7. Because both of these teams have high energy. Like you see how they play. I mean, this game came down to pretty much the last couple possessions. Pacers made some key mistakes towards the end. But man, just like watching the way Brunson plays, OG has really stepped up the last couple games in the first round. And this round coming up, like starting this round as far as offensive production. He's hitting that 3 ball. I mean, I'm not gonna say he was bad at it because he's not. He's a decent shooter, but he's been way more consistent recently. His mid range
100%.
He's getting to the paint as well, and I think the key to this series too is OG has to be good. Well, he has to be effective on offense. I'll say you need that extra production. Like DiVincenzo, he's gonna get his. Josh Hart now he's become an offensive, defensive minded superstar. I don't know. He's just everywhere. So just having that extra offense versus Pacers team, I think is going to be huge. And in a game where the Pacers bench went absolutely crazy, the Knicks still found a way to pull out this win. So, hey, kudos to them, man. I was actually very impressed with that W.
Yeah, it was a really good W. I'll say I forgot his name. It's a well-known producer in ESPN. It's like he said. I'll put it in this way. Yes, I know. Thank you. I just forget names. I'm not good with names, but he said something along the lines of the Pacers are trying to run y'all into the ground by making you literally run. We know those Knicks players are going to start to play 40 plus minutes. It's a fact. I'm not going to deny that. But the Pacers can run us into the ground. That's very true. But he also said that's why they need to hyper focus on offensive rebounds to get those second chance buckets. Like we saw last night when Josh Hart missed the rebound, the shooter knows when he misses, he goes back and he gets a layup. That's a 3-point play. I was amazed.
Yeah. The only problem with that is the idea that if we don't get the offensive rebound, when we were playing Philly, the only guy on Philly, and this is a take that I heard from somebody else. So this is like not something that I necessarily thought, but like I totally agree with it. It's the idea that Philly only had like one fast break guy, and that's Maxey. Like other than Maxey, no one was going to push the pace on Philly. So we could crash the offensive glass all we want because even if we didn't get the rebound, we knew we weren't going to give up points. But like this Indy team, like looking at the way they played last night, bro, if we didn't get a rebound, they were gone. Like they were pushing after rebounds. They were pushing after free throws. They were pushing after like made baskets. They were just scaring down the court. So they're going to make us pay. If we send 3 guys to the offensive glass and don't get the rebound, they're going to have Obi gone. They're going to have Halliburton gone. They're going to be pushing the pace. Siakam's going to be already halfway down the court. So there's a higher risk in this series, I think, than Philly. Because at least in Philly, if we didn't get the rebound, we could just walk back on defense. Like they weren't going to play up tempo. So
also, Indiana's X factor is definitely going to be how Miles Turner plays in this series. Last night, he was like really clutch with a lot of buckets that he was making.
Awesome. Turner was awesome.
I like his game. I really do. I would very well welcome an idea where Miles Turner is in a New York uniform.
Never.
I don't think it's gonna happen because we have our center core already. But
yeah, we didn't have 2 great centers.
He made us pay when we put Mitchell Robinson in. And then when Isaiah Hartenstein in, he got into foul trouble towards the end of the game. And then as soon as we put Mitch in, he made him pay with that 3-point shot.
You know what he is, though, Miles Turner? He's a younger version of Brook Lopez. More athletic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why is that actually a really good comparison?
Both of them have the same gameplay. They both shoot. They're both good defenders. Well, actually, for bigs, they're pretty much in like that tier right under elite defenders. In my opinion.
We also forget that Brook Lopez actually adjusted his game a bit to where he can shoot.
That is true. Yeah.
His career when he was in New Jersey, he didn't shoot at all. He was just.
I remember when he was a Laker, he did not stretch the floor. He was a paint big body, and I'm glad he kind of developed his game. So shout out to him for that. But both of those guys, like Miles Turner, he is an elite big. Like I'll call him elite big in this era of NBA, being able to stretch the floor, play defense, grab rebounds, do all those different things, and he's playing in the perfect role. Like you have a perfect four-man in Siakam who can pretty much rebound, shoot, hit that mid-range as well. So they can really run the perfect 5-out offense. Like Miles Turner doesn't have to clog the paint. Tyrese can kind of collapse in the paint, get his layups. Same with other guys kind of getting in the lane and stuff like that. And if you help, like Max said, or I think it was Omar, like if Mitch decides to help and help around that paint, Miles Turner will shoot that. He doesn't care if he misses like 2 or 3.
He has a green light, bro. He has a green animation,
and it will go in most of the time. 100%. But yeah, he's a baller.
Can we just say that Tyrese Halliburton, while he had a terrible game yesterday, he is definitely hurt. Like there is no doubt in my mind that he is playing hurt. Like he was 2 for 6 and 5 of those shots were threes. Like he's not looking to drive at all. And so I think he definitely, because he was out, we know he was dealing with that hamstring for like most of the season. And I think I think he maybe tweaked it in that last series against Milwaukee, because there were times where he was going to the basket against Milwaukee. He hit that crazy game-winning floater in overtime against Milwaukee. But for whatever reason, at least in last night's game, maybe it's just something else or whatever, but he was not looking to drive at all. He was just looking to pass the ball, set his teammates up, and shoot the occasional 3. So
it seems like
win this series, they need Tyrese to at least do a little more than that. I understand he's hobbled and that he probably doesn't have like that explosive ability that we're kind of used to him having now, but they got to figure out a way to get him going for more than 6 shots. Like that's not a recipe for success for Indy, even though they did almost win that game, and that game was definitely ref assisted.
Well, he only made 2 of those. He only made 2 of those shots, and I mean, it's kind of like up to him. He is the point guard. If he wanted to drive, he could. But again, like you said, he's hobbled. Like he's not at 100%. You can really tell that he's not 100%, and I feel like that's going to affect the Pacers in the long run. I feel like it's going to be a really hard series regardless, but I do have my Knicks coming on top.
This remind me of? I said this before. This is reminding me of the year Atlanta went to the Eastern Conference Finals. I feel like just the way things are lining up, like the matchups, like they favor you guys in a good way. Not saying anything negative.
Yeah,
like, just matchup based, like experience and stuff like that. I feel like for the most part, with Julius hurt, I still like in a world, I think I can see you guys going to the NBA Finals, which sounds crazy, but if all things align right, like they are, I think y'all are trending in the right direction. Like the Pacers team, like you said, like Tyrese Halliburton, regardless if he's healthy or not, I still feel like this series was going to be exciting going to 7. But the way the Knicks play, like I don't think anybody can the only team I feel like who can match the hustle and pace and like just the I'm not giving up, I'm going to run for the whole game is the Timberwolves. Like that's the only team I feel like when it comes down to a close game, the Knicks will run you out the building. They don't care if you're down like 10. They don't care if they're down 10. Like we've seen that game versus the Sixers. Like if there's time left on the clock, they will out hustle you. They'll die for every single ball. They don't care. And there's only one other team in the playoffs who does that right now, and that's the Timberwolves. So that's why I said the way things are trending, even the Celtics, I got to see how the Celtics play. I still think
to speak to that,
they're going to cook. I'm sorry.
I mean, no, you're good. You're good. And by the way, Porzingis is week to week, so it might affect their play too. We never know what happens.
Too.
Yeah,
I still think the Celtics dust. I still think the Celtics.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think they'll dust. I think Donovan Mitchell will make it a little more competitive than that. I feel like Donovan Mitchell is better than. I feel like Donovan Mitchell is better than anybody.
I'm a Lakers fan, and as much as it hurts me to say this, Celtics will not lose a game in this series. I don't care what you say. Celtics are sweeping.
I think they'll take one. I think Donovan Mitchell's good enough to get them.
I think we're sleeping on what the Cavs are capable of.
I'm hibernating.
I mean, it did take him 7 games to beat Orlando. And again, Orlando's not bad.
And it's a tough team, man.
Is going to have to average 45
Bro, if Orlando saw Boston, that would be a 7-game series.
No.
That would be 4.
Bro, you got to understand, if you don't have Porzingis and you're going up against a really, really good defensive team, that's a struggle. And that will go to 7 games. I love the Knicks defense. Wait, I think your mic turned off, brother.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was about to say, I think I agree with Omar here about the Magic. My thing about the Magic is they have so much size and they force the action in the paint. And without Porzingis to kind of help, I mean, there are other bigs. It's like Al Horford, Tillman. Like, that's not really going to stop Apollo.
Tillman, Horford, Luke Cornett.
Like Tatum, he'll give him a little bit of trouble, but at the same time, like Paolo's still 6'10", like he's a huge dude. So I feel like that probably would have been a more physical series. Now with Cleveland, I just don't know. The only way Cleveland wins the series to me depends on Darius Garland. He's been kind of inconsistent for that Cleveland team because Mitch, like you said, Mitchell, 100%. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. He may get you say he may get like a 40-piece one game and win, but we're talking about a team that has like defensive bodies to throw at him. So at some point, someone else on that team is going to have to step up offensively because they're not going to let Mitchell just beat them in a series. I feel like unless Mitchell's putting up like a historic series, 45 plus points per game, and takes out the Celtics, I think it's just going to take a.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion because I'm a New York fan. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but if Brunson is capable of doing 40 plus for the past 4 games, I think Donovan Mitchell can do the same.
But the difference between that is 40 plus and winning versus 40 plus and losing.
Because,
that's on the team. If your guy puts up 40 points on decent efficiency and you lose, that's on the rest of the team.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
I wanted to speak to Earl's point a little bit ago. You mentioned like I don't think anybody can beat the Knicks. And last night I got scared. I'm going to be the first one to tell you I'm scared of the Indiana Pacers. When this series was announced and the Pacers got a little bit ahead, not gonna lie, I was a little scared. The Pacers are a gritty team who know how to outscore the shit out of you. And last night I had my boys over and we were watching the game. And there was like 5 I
wasn't invited.
Y'all live like in different
nah, it's
all good. I'll invite y'all next time. I'll FaceTime
in Discord.
But he got up. It's good to mention that he was tipsy. He got up and he was ready to call the game after a minute. I was like, bro, sit down. You're gonna piss me off. Sit down.
Were you doing that for a minute?
Yeah, we were leading by 5. It was about like 50 seconds left. We managed to get a steal, and Anobi managed to get the steal, and then we managed to dribble it out.
You mean with a minute left?
Yeah.
I thought you went into the game. I was like,
no.
Okay, but
it's over.
At the end of the game. And it scared me because it gave me, as soon as that happened, and as soon as he got up to try to dab me up, I had fucking flashbacks in my head. And I was like,
Omar, are you having flashbacks? You have flashbacks? Series look over right now, so let's just record the podcast tomorrow. Series look over.
Send cancellation email.
Things are over.
Send cancellation email.
We'll push it to game 2.
Dude, I was so I had PTSD because of what happened in New York with Philadelphia, and it's just like, and it just outspeaks to this message that we've been hearing for the past goddamn 2 series. Yo, no lead is ever safe. None. We were leading 22 at one point in one game. It doesn't matter. We lost it.
I know that bike.
We lost it.
We led every game in that round, and we only won 1. So that is 100% true.
The only lead that is safe is
the Minnesota Timberwolves got your back, though.
Is if the Minnesota Timberwolves blow you out by 30 in the first half and Jamal Murray's throwing stuff on the court. That's the only lead that's safe.
Yeah, let's just
turn that game on. I'm like,
let's transition to Timberwolves talk. I have to say this.
Yeah.
Timberwolves. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I'm so happy because you know why? I don't even care about the players on Nuggets, except for Jamal Murray. He annoys me. But
yeah, Jamal Murray started to annoy me.
The most annoying coach in the NBA. I'm sorry. He talks so much undercover junk, and then when they lose, he gets an attitude. Like, did y'all see that press conference last night?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
They said, "How do you feel?"
Much of an attitude, bro. He was mad as hell because his team lost by 30 in a playoff game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying you have to be happy when you lose. Obviously, no one's going to be, but like, just the sheer difference between his highs and lows are absolutely insane. Like, it's to the point where you have to
be professional.
Like,
I get you.
Look at the Timberwolves coach. He, like, when they lose, he
Chris Finch.
Chris Finch. he'll call out his play. He'll be like, "Hey, we had to do this. We had to change this. Guys have to play with more energy. This, blah, blah, blah." When a reporter asked him about Jokic and Jamal Murray, he said, "Where do you think they're at right now? Like as far as like the physicality and all this stuff in the game?" And then he said, "They're in the shower." Like I guess he was being sarcastic, and then he just didn't answer the rest of the question. So I'm like, bro, this is a part of the game. This is part of the playoffs. And then Jamal Murray declined to do interviews. I wouldn't either. I mean, he threw a towel too. Did y'all see that video? He threw a towel.
It was an ice pack. It was a heating pad.
He did a heating pad and a towel. There's another video.
On separate occasions, or
honestly, bro, he was throwing towels at the. He was throwing shit at the refs, bro.
Like and I tried to tell people. Like, obviously, I don't think that's why we didn't win. We didn't win because we just weren't good enough to win versus the Nuggets. I was trying to tell people that the Nuggets were getting away with some weird stuff just throughout the playoffs. And now people are kind of seeing, because it's not us. You see it's versus the Timberwolves, an unbiased type team. Like, the league just hates the Lakers, but that's okay. But you see, like, Jamal Murray antics, there's no way. There's no way you can throw a heating pad at the ref and it hits the court and you don't get a tech, you don't get anything like that. Did you see where Mike Malone kind of charged that ref and was yelling at him? No tech there.
Those should have been techs. Those both should have been techs, at least. Murray could have gotten thrown. Should have maybe been thrown out for that. Like, that's legit dangerous. Like, can you imagine if someone slipped on that and got hurt?
Yeah, 100%. But we couldn't.
And that was on that Carl Towns layup. Like, it was right there on the floor.
Yeah,
like, he could have
easily. By the guys. I mean, just take a step back. You're not expecting a.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's a lot of moments where in that Timberwolves game where I was like, I mean, this is a little weird. Everybody's fouling pretty hard. Like I saw this double team on with Jaden McDaniels.
That was just clamped up.
Who's been awesome?
That was completely awesome with Nico and the Wild. I think that was like the only clean defense I saw all game.
That was nasty. Like,
T-Wolves just play great defense. I mean, they play.
Dude, there's just so many. There's so many questionable things that they will get called in, like let's say New York, and they won't be called in Minnesota. It's just like or in Denver. It's like.
Denver,
these
I'm telling you that
these refs, man. These refs are really fucking with shit.
About the refs. We have no right to complain about the refs.
We have no right to complain about the refs.
Jalen Brunson is the #1 foul bait in the league, but it's okay.
They gifted us that win yesterday with those calls at the end. You know that wasn't a kickball, and you know that wasn't an illegal pick.
That wasn't a kickball. I'll agree with that. But the other
and that illegal pick happens every.
That illegal screen was insane. I'm sorry,
bro. I don't care.
That was a Mickey Mouse call, bro.
Bro, he went like
game
this.
On the line, Omar, with 12 seconds left. You just gotta let the game play out.
First of all, he was walking. He was not set.
He barely even took
he fucking pushed him. You can see Miles Turner's arms. You can dude. Watch the tape. You can see Miles Turner's arms move out like that.
But that's
when you're supposed to be like that. So
every pick in the game. Like
Draymond Green does that every single play.
Like by definition, is it probably a moving pick? Yes, but that happens on every single play. Like you can
to be more consistent than that. Yeah, I guess. I mean, look, I complain about refs all the time because we don't get a lot of calls, Max. But we don't get a lot of shit.
Got some big call. We definitely got him yesterday. So.
Last series, y'all had some of the biggest calls in the playoffs.
It goes both ways, but back to Minnesota, it's like the defense that they do play, like it is hard for sure, and they do get away with some stuff because they're a physical defensive team, but there's a reason why they were leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else defensively in the regular season. I think we're seeing it now. And not to pat myself too much on the back, but also to pat myself on the back. Did I not say last week, or maybe I said it on PSF, I guess, that Jokic is quite literally like a terrible paint defender and that the Nuggets don't defend the paint? And what did Minnesota do all of last game? They just walk to the basket, and Edwards just walks in, Naz Reid walks in, Cat walks in. Jokic doesn't defend the paint. Like, he's the best offensive player in the league, bar none, but he's definitely a negative defender. And there's that Aaron Gordon is not a great paint defender. You don't expect that from him, but the Nuggets are just letting way too many easy points go in. And I said I think I said last week, or like maybe again on PSF, if the Timberwolves are going to win this series, they just have to dominate points in the paint. I think they know that. They've got the team to do it. They didn't even have Gobert yesterday, and they dominated points in the paint. So unless the Nuggets just change something and Jokic turns into like his 2022 version of himself, which had like randomly one of the best defensive seasons of any center ever, like unless Jokic turns into that version of himself, Timberwolves are just going to keep packing the paint. When they get Gobert back next game, it's going to be even worse.
I got a question for Jokic. What horse you buying this summer?
Listen, like, I mean,
Earl doesn't care who he loses to. He just wants him to lose.
I'm just saying, what horse are you buying next? Yo, it's time to open up the catalog. I don't know where you get them from.
He's like getting ready to go
for next week, buddy.
Jokic talking about making clones of himself, but like I don't think any clones of Jokic the way he's playing right now are going to stop the paint. He's just not trying.
That is true. That was a crazy bar. How do you
can put 5 Jokic's out there? They're all just going to stand flat-footed and watch. Karl Towns just do a little turnaround on him, or watch Ant Edwards just walk inside and lay it in. He's not contesting shots. That's a fact.
This is what I try to tell people. Like Timberwolves, they followed the motto: the way to beat Jokic. 3 big bodies, rotate 3 bodies. They didn't even have to do 3 last game.
They did 2.
They had 2. You have to have 2 or 3 plus dominant big fellas to irritate Jokic. You have to take away his options. That's what happened in 2020, and that's how it got done. It just so happened to be Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, but this is a way better version. I mean, you got Karl-Anthony Towns, you got Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid. That's way better than what we had. So I think they kind of figured that out, and guys who can kind of stretch the floor too. I think that team is so
shout out Naz
dangerous.
Reid.
Yeah, Naz Reid is an absolute bucket, but
menace.
I'll say this about their defense, man. It's so fun to watch. I
remember earlier this year we were talking about Minnesota, and we were talking about how they're going to have to trade one big man eventually. I think they know that, and I think they're trying to. I think they have,
bro. They don't have.
They're going to be in the luxury tax. They're talking about the luxury tax and shit. But,
bro, they're not. I promise you, they're going to find a way. They're not going to trade anybody on this team. They can run this team back for the next 5-6 years and still do. Bro, do you guys think the 2022 Timberwolves are going to go on a Bulls run? It's 2024.
Yeah, I said the 2024 Bulls and Timberwolves.
Author said the 2022 Timberwolves.
No, I said 2022.
22.
I said 22. Well,
yeah, I was like,
24.
You confused me. I was like, what?
I'm tired, guys. I'm so sorry. 2024 Timberwolves are going to go. I feel like they're going to go like on a Michael Jordan-esque type run. They stole 2 at home, bro. MJ hasn't lost in the playoffs, right?
In the finals?
In the playoffs.
Huh?
Or is it the finals? Am I stupid?
Bro, what? You think bro never lost a playoff game is crazy.
Omar is Earl screenshot that.
The glazing is crazy, bro. I'm sorry. See, that's average Jordan fans right there.
I have to stop. I didn't know. I made a mistake. Did Max glitch out?
Oh man, you glitched. Your take was so bad. You glitched.
No, bro. All I did that's all I did. I just removed myself from the screen. He probably left. Yeah, he probably left. Goddamn. But no, that was a stupid thing.
But okay. I get what you mean. Like potentially, I mean, it's up for grabs. It'll be his first finals appearance ever, so he has a chance to do that. But Jordan has definitely lost in the playoffs in general, though.
Okay. But what I meant to say,
notorious for losing before he got Scottie Pippen.
Okay,
he was missing.
But what I meant was fine. What I meant was are the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to go 4-0, 4-0, 4-0, and then 4-0?
I don't think it's gonna be that easy. That's understanding the talent.
They stole 2 at home from the fucking champion.
I'd be shocked if they sweep Denver. Denver's not going down that easily. I still think Denver in 6.
I still don't think they're gonna.
We thought Denver was gonna take the 2 games.
I said Denver in 6. That's still possible. Denver can whip.
The thing about the Timberwolves, why I say no. Well, it's hard to tell, but I just don't know how the Timberwolves are going to react to like dropping 2 games like that.
Bro, they killed them by 30.
For the most part, like all of our games were pretty close, but these Timberwolves games, I mean, Timberwolves have been putting it on them. So I just don't expect them to go down 0-3. I think they're going to win the next one, and then maybe the Timberwolves lock in and win 2, in my opinion. Just off of. Because it doesn't seem like the altitude is really – it affects Anthony Edwards for like a little bit of the game, and then he just locks in and kind of does what he does, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they won those 2 games in Denver, like just straight off rip, I don't think any team expects to go to Denver and win 2 games with how good Denver is, and just like you said, with the altitude. We cannot understand how impressive that is. Like, even though I'm still saying Nuggets in 6, that is insanely impressive for this Timberwolves team. And to do 1 game without Gobert, like, that's not being talked about. Gobert literally wasn't there last night, and they murked Denver. Like they made Denver literally look terrible.
I got T-Wolves in 5. I think it's only right that they go home in 5 for what they did to us. I know Ron said, hey, young man, young buck, Go be legendary, baby.
All right.
That was history.
I think it's actually time not to talk about the Knicks, but let's talk about Brunson because he's been on an actual red hot streak as of late.
Mm-hmm.
I have the stats right here. The past 4 games for him have been quite immaculate. 23, 6-6, first game in Indiana. Now this is the last 3 in Philadelphia. 41-3. Huh?
You mean 43?
I said 4. What are you talking
23,
about?
6-6.
No, I didn't. Oh my gosh.
You can watch
43, 6-6 last night against Indiana.
Okay.
41, 3-12. The last game against Philly. 43-6 on with Philly. And then again, 47, 4-10 against Philly. I screenshotted this. He is tied with Michael Jordan and Bernard King from 1993 and 1984 for most consecutive 40-point games in an NBA postseason. He's coming up on Jerry West too with 6.
Shout out Jerry West.
Shout out Jerry West. Do you guys think Jalen Brunson can have another 2 or 3 40-point games?
I don't see why not.
I'm taking myself out of the equation because you know my answer. Let's be honest.
I don't see who the Pacers have to defend. This is going to be if Brunson has an off night or not. He's going to get his shots. He averaged 35 a game against the Pacers in the regular season. So, and we basically need him to have 40 to have a shot at winning against these guys. So I don't see why not. It's just going to come down if he misses some shots. And also he was really good. He was perfect from the line last night. So that's a huge factor. If he can shoot 12 for 12 or 13 from the line, it makes the 40 piece a lot easier, you know?
I think Max said it perfectly. It's up to Brunson. I mean, he's going to get all the looks he can get. I mean, he pretty much gets to that mid-range bag early. He kind of warms himself up into his three-point shot. Like, if it's not hitting early, he kind of just goes back to that midi, lets his shot get a little bit worked up, and then goes back out to that three-point line. He's good at getting to that line. I said he has that Hall of Fame whistle badge. Respect to him for that. But, yeah, it's really up to him, man. Oh, yeah. He definitely he's got that.
He's a little bit of a foul baiter, right? But it's also defined as like putting a defender in jail because like you made him make that mistake.
Yeah, foul baiter.
He doesn't foul bait by falling to the floor, at least like Joel does. So that's a plus.
And then start pulling on players' legs and then tripping on other players and diving at knees and whatnot. Like,
as far as like foul baiting though, and the ability to get that whistle whenever they want, I have like S tier to me.
Oh my gosh.
Probably Joel Embiid and Jalen Brunson.
I don't think he's S.
I'll give you S tier for Joel Embiid, but I'm not moving Jalen Brunson far off. I'm moving him to A because Jalen's an A, right?
Jalen is now an S tier.
No.
I promise you he is. If you just watch the way, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying like he's learned the skill. Like James Harden did it. He learned how to like master that whistle, but he knows exactly when like he'll literally like get in front of you just for like half a step in front of you, just for the fact where he can just like stop his body like that and then go up with a shot like that. Like he just knows when to time these different things. Like he knows how to get it from every single angle. Like if he wants a foul, he's gonna get one. And I have the same thoughts about Joel Embiid. Not saying it's a bad thing. I just think it's like a skill. If you learn how to utilize that, it will expand your game. Like it adds extra points to your points per game. Like it's easier buckets for you.
But here's the difference between Joel Embiid and Jalen Brunson. Joel Embiid starts trying to hurt people. I mean, it's frankly obvious what he was doing with the series in New York. Like, you can't look at that series, look at game 2 and be like, yeah, Embiid shouldn't have been ejected for pulling.
But I'm saying, I think my difference is I'm separating both of those things because I feel like, those were dirty plays. But I'm just talking about their game overall, like the ability to draw fouls. They both have that, I'll say.
Yeah.
At a high level.
100%. I just again,
I'm sorry, and Luka.
I don't think you're far off by any means. I just feel like
a outside bystander.
I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna wake up. I know if there's a Knicks game on that day, I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna eat breakfast. I'm gonna turn on the game. I'm gonna see Brunson take at least 10 free throws.
Wasn't like that in the regular season, but they've been giving him a kind whistle in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, like he's solidified himself as that. I'm telling you, some guys have it. I even said, I think it depends on year too. Last year, Austin Reeves had that whistle. He would do stupid stuff and get the whistle.
Dude, Austin Reeves had a crazy whistle.
He had a crazy whistle last year.
Yeah,
I just feel like,
bro. I'm so glad you noticed that.
He had a crazy whistle, and he still gets it. Like like I said, it's just some guys who know how to draw contact. They know, and first of all, about that whistle too. The reason why Joel Embiid, Luka, and Brunson are in S tier, it's because they not only get the whistle, but they know how to finish the and one. It's not just like, I'm a foul. They know how to finish it. Like Luka's little floaters. Joel Embiid with the hooks in the post game. He knows how to kind of stop himself, finish through contact, and hit the shot and then get the free throw. So that's why they're in S tier.
That's the Braun Patton move. Take the
foul.
I mean, I don't want to say
I'll give you that.
There's a stretch there where you couldn't foul Braun without giving up a basket.
So, I remember like that one famous Boston clip where
he got to the line,
grabbing him like on his neck like this, and he finishes the layup like that. That was insane too. But they got that. They got that bag, whistle bag.
LeBron James.
Cancun.
Can we talk about the Thunder series now, like the Thunder Mavs series? Because that's starting tonight.
I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I am excited to see that one.
One of the greatest to ever touch the ball, basketball.
SGA. Blue Dort.
Kyrie Irving.
The crazy thing is Kyrie's like the old head now. He's like way older.
He is. Isn't that wild?
He's the only old head in the
and we kind of grew up like Kyrie era. Now he's become like the old hey, y'all know Kyrie. He used to do that. Like we can tell war stories about Kyrie when he was young in the league. Now it's crazy.
We are becoming the old heads because when we mention Isaiah Thomas,
I remember when he got drafted.
We mention Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
And then we mention a prime D Rose. We all cry. We are old heads.
I don't think anyone's crying over Lamar Odom.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still. I mean, I'm just trying to add to the severity. Derrick Rose, definitely. I feel so bad. Zach Randolph too. Mm-hmm. He was before his time, bro.
The real Mike Conley. People forget Mike Conley. Side note that's unrelated. Mike Conley's transition to being like a star on that team to being a star in his role in Timberwolves is truly amazing. I don't think people talk about it enough. Like,
no, it's not.
Them adding to him to that team.
That veteran leadership was so necessary, and that's the one move that they had to make. Yep.
Remember when Mike Conley was the most underrated player in the NBA for so long that he became the most overrated or one of the most overrated players because everyone would talk about how underrated he was. 100%. That was a really funny time.
Crazy. Do you guys think
you live long enough to see yourself become the villain?
I feel like we live in a time where a lot of times start to repeat. Do we think Ja Morant is going to end up like Mike Conley? No. Just to entertain.
I think it's just recency bias. Like he got hurt.
He's better than Mike Conley ever was, respectfully.
And I know another unrelated side note, Memphis is going to be so good next year. They're getting a good draft pick. They already got their core together. They're going to be fully healthy for next season. The West is just getting crazy. The West is literally every night. If there's a Western Conference game on, you might want to tune in. Besides the Jazz, sorry, Jazz. No shade. I'm sorry, Jazz. I'm sorry. Because I think
just like when we were kids, the Jazz were at the bottom of the barrel.
No, because I think Markin is going to get traded this summer. It's just a hot take. So Jazz are going to.
He's the only good player.
Well, they did recently put him available on the trade market, and they could also they're not in any position to win at any level. So why do they need to keep holding on to Laurie?
He's young. But like an aging star like DeRozan.
I get it, but he's also like what, 26?
He's 26.
I was gonna say 24, and I thought that was old.
26.
He should be traded to a championship contender, or bring him to the Magic. Bring him to the Magic. Get yourself a Franz and Mo Wagner.
The problem with the Jazz is it's not a market people want to go to in free agency. So they have to kind of hit on the draft like, hey, this is a guy that is going to change the culture of Utah. You know what I mean? So they would be better off trading him away, getting a whole bunch of picks, and just trying to get like a number one pick and just have a franchise starter. I think marketing is great, but I don't think he's like a franchise.
Y'all don't realize. You guys remember who was the GM of the Boston Celtics prior to Brad Stevens, right?
That's a Danny Ainge.
Not off the top of
A
my
man
head,
named Danny Ainge, where he's
Danny.
currently GMing in Utah.
Yeah,
he's not doing a good job.
Keep Lowry.
He's doing a good job, man. He got Colin Sexton and Lauri Markkanen for Donovan Mitchell. Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good pieces. I mean,
yeah.
Why are we talking about Utah, bro? They're not even
because here's the thing about Utah.
I don't care.
Here's the thing.
Omar has business in Utah. He's trying to buy the team.
Honestly, at a good price, I might. Fuck it, but. But I'm trying to say is we got to look at the comparisons of where he was. He drafted Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Who's saying he's not going to draft the next two over there in Utah?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said he has to trademark it, and that's the only way to.
That's what I'm saying.
All this is.
We're in the same boat here, Earl. We're in the same boat.
I say keep Lowry, but either way, the team is mid. So
they're going to be mid for a few years. The Celtics were horrible for years. The Knicks were horrible for years. The Celtics were horrible for a long time. They basically
straight up drafted Tatum and Brown and went back to relevancy instantly.
I mean, honestly, they were bad for like a good 4 or 5 years.
It wasn't like property bad.
No, okay, I'm sorry. I can't let you get away with these takes anymore. This is outrageous.
What did he say?
I said they were
bad for 5 years.
4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years. There's a chance. The Boston Celtics. In their entire history, you're telling me they haven't been bad for 5 years?
That's not during the Danny Ainge time. Like what? They won a championship.
Remember when they had like
PG? I mean the Barnett years, traded them and then drafted really well and went straight back to being good.
But they didn't trade them. They didn't trade for like the following year.
Boston,
like it was like
you got to remember like the Isaiah Thomas times.
Yeah, but those
teams were good though.
I understand that. I'm talking about prior to Isaiah Thomas. I'm talking about prior to Jason Tatum. I'm talking about prior to Jaylen Brown.
So you're talking about like the Ray Allen.
Okay. All right, so let's see.
No.
2012, 2013, 41 wins. Then they have 125 win season in 2013, 2014. Following that, 40 wins, 48 wins, 53 wins, 55 wins, 49 wins, 48 wins.
I just remember a year where they had like a roster with like Avery Bradley and like Brandon
that was
Bass.
1 year. And then they rebounded. Like, what are you on?
I mean, that only attests to Danny Ainge, right?
But the thing about great teams is they're always going to find a way to become relevant again.
Yeah.
And even when they're bad, they're still going to sell tickets.
Yeah, like this Boston Celtics, like I'm looking right here, like this Celtics team found like they still had like Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and Jason Tatum. That team was winning them 40 games a year. And then they drafted, really well.
People forget Ricky Tatum year was crazy. That was the year he went head to head with Cleveland, right? They went to 7 games, or was that his second year?
Like they've not been legitimately bad other than that 125 win season. It's been 40 wins and then 50 wins, and then this year they hit 60. So
I'm not gonna lie, that was crazy. Like for that young team to take that Cleveland team to 7, bro. Yeah. And that was a series where Tatum dunked on LeBron's head. Oh my, yeah.
And Bron still has more rings since then than Tatum.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I mean, like
championship window. Well, I mean, at least his championship window's not going anywhere. Jason Tatum.
I still back the Celtics to win the championship. They're still my pick, especially now that Denver looks a little shaky. I don't see anyone stopping Boston in any way, shape, or form. But that's just me.
I think we can put pressure on Boston. I think what do you guys think the series will go if New York Knicks see the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Final?
Probably 6. I think we push them to 6. A good 6 games, like every game close. But I think Boston's good enough to win those close games where maybe Philly didn't, and if we beat Indy, But again, Indy can definitely beat us.
Yeah, I'll say 6. I'll say 6. I feel like 6 is very respectful.
I'm taking it to 7.
I thought you were gonna say something delusional like 4.
Nah, that's
or 5.
Because there's no way. I'm sorry. Like the Celtics are good, but are they beating us at the Garden?
Yes, they could. They very well could.
They very well could, but they won't.
All right, can we please
the Garden mystical powers?
Yo, it gives Jalen Brunson the power.
Yeah, we never talked about OKC. Okay. My thoughts. I'll say this.
We talked about OKC once, during
really
the middle
excited.
of the season.
I'm excited about this series because we have 2 really great, like, I'll just say like game managers, like Luka and Shea. they really they basically control the ball for a majority of the offense, but they set their teammates up in perfect positions. Like, I just like the way they slow it down. Like Luka, he'll take his time. He'll try to get that mid-range shot, maybe a little bit three here and there. Throw a lob up to Gaff, kick it to Kyrie, and then you got Shea, the young dogs, the Mr. Underrated team, and they're just locked in, man. Every time I watch them play, it's just exciting. Like, it's just the youth. It's really like watching the future of the league. Like, that's the youngest team in the NBA, and they're performing at the highest level. So I'm excited to see what happens, man. I think it could pretty much go either way. I have to see how game one goes, but as far as like matchups, I feel like they're pretty well matched. I think the only thing going for the Mavericks is experience and Kyrie Irving, like Max said. I mean, he's pretty much the godfather of the playoffs right now. He has the most experience. He has championship experience. He knows how to react when you're down in a series. He knows how to react when you're up in a series. And I feel like that's something that the Mavericks didn't have before. Like, they didn't know how to control games, like a game-by-game basis. Like, we talk about, you can't let your highs be too high. You can't let your lows be too low in the playoffs. And I think Kyrie, playing with Bron, like, just learning those type of habits, it's kind of cool to see, like, Kyrie kind of lead his team. Because I know Luka, obviously, is a superstar on that team. But I think Kyrie is literally like the locker room leader for that squad, and they needed
that. Real quick, the NBA just reported that not the NBA, Bleacher Report just reported that Jamal Murray's heat pack toss from Nuggets Wolves is under NBA review after a viral video. So the NBA
under review.
Yeah,
how
it's
long
under.
It's hey, we
the NBA is investigating Jamal Murray. Is the headline?
For what we seen? We trying to we Photoshop.
They
AI
have to. My brother, they have to investigate.
AI generated.
They know it happened, but they have to investigate and whether they think it was like worth their. They want to basically give themselves. They want to give themselves time to like give him a proper punishment. They'll probably spend them for like a game or something. I don't know.
The NBA loves the Nuggets, man. I'm just saying, if it was any other team,
I think they'll either fine him or suspend them for a game.
They're
I do think
Jamal Murray in the playoffs.
They're probably going to fine him
a quick $50K and be done with it.
Yeah,
they ain't suspended him. Like they say, people pay good money to see Jamal Murray come play basketball, so they're not going to make him sit out a game.
Yeah, I get it. But my opinion on
the Thunder series, I will say, my prediction is Thunder in 6. I do back the Thunder to beat the Mavs. Listen, I was Team Clippers.
Yep.
Like, I was under the impression Kawhi
I knew they were frauds. Sorry.
He didn't. Okay, sorry. Kawhi was healthy the whole season, then didn't play in the playoffs. I wasn't expecting that. But fair enough. Mavericks were good. They beat him. Think they're good enough to take some games off the Thunder. They're not better than the Thunder, though. This Thunder team is legit. Very much see them going to the conference finals, this Thunder team. They just got a mojo. They got a swag. They're so very talented. They're young. They're ready to go in the playoffs. Mark Daigneault is the coach of the year for a reason. He did a fantastic job this year. He's still doing a fantastic job this year. So yeah. I back the Thunder. I think this could be one of those series where the road team wins a couple games where it's like maybe they go back to Dallas 1-1 and then OKC takes one in Dallas and it kind of goes from there. But I would say probably Thunder in 6 would be my prediction. I'm really high on this Thunder team right now. The only thing they don't have is the height. So if they play Minnesota in the conference finals, that might be a little sketchy for them. But Thunder in 6 because Dallas's height still isn't fantastic. It's not bad by any means, but it's not fantastic.
I think this is the only playoff series where I'm actually unsure of the winner. I feel like I can make a solid prediction for every other series, right? New York, Boston, Minnesota. Who's coming out of this series? I think it'll go to 7 games. I think Dallas has a lot of like, what's it called? I think Dallas has a lot of experience, and that's and it's like that does matter sometimes within playoff games. But man, this Oklahoma City team is so talented. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, freaking Jalen Williams is
underrated.
Jalen Williams is crazy.
He is legit.
This is hard for me to choose. Yeah, this is really hard for me to choose because I think Jalen Williams is going to be like a James Harden situation where it's actually Oklahoma City. And hey, maybe they'll trade him to the Thunder. Give Alperen Sengun a run for his money.
You mean trade him to the Rockets, not the Thunder?
Yes, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Can we put a compilation of
we're gonna make a compilation just from this video. There's at least like 5 in here, I promise. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Yeah, Omar's off there. No,
Omar's up late partying after that Knicks game.
Yeah, that too.
He celebrated like it was Game 7.
I wasn't celebrating like it was Game 7. I wasn't.
I celebrated that Philly series.
We got him right when we want him. We got him right when we want him.
I celebrated the Philly series like it was Game 7, but yeah, that too, yeah. Max. I stole that line right from you, but yeah.
So okay. So do you have an official prediction then for OKC Dallas? Sounds like you're picking 7 no matter what. Sounds like you're thinking to go 7.
I'm picking 7, but
y'all want to know something?
I think the wait 1 sec. I just think while the is Earl talking? Is he talking to himself?
He's doing mental math. Go ahead.
Okay. I just think this is gonna be very hard. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder is like insanely talented, and I think like they made it far for a reason.
Okay.
But I do feel like playoff experience. I do feel like playoff experience will be that anchor for them in the way that I feel like they'll just lose just because of Luka Doncic's playoff experience, Kyrie's playoff experience. I think it's going to rely on that throughout the series. And I think Dallas is going to take it in 7.
Okay, fair enough. Dallas.
I have, after some nice math equations and thinking about different games, potential combinations of guys playing at a high level, I'm going to go with Mavericks in 6.
Oh.
I think that last series, Luka did not have a great efficient series as far as the offense. I know he averaged an insane amount of points, but he was taking a lot of shots and missing easy ones, especially on the 3-point line. If Luka is locked in from 3, his efficiency is up. He's playing elite level basketball. I got them coming out this round. I think Shea and them are going to win their games. Obviously, it's really hard to beat them, especially at home. They have one of the best home environments I've seen. I mean, historically, that's been the case. Back in the it's crazy to say back in the KD, Russ, and James Harden days, every single one of those playoff games look exactly how it looks now. So OKC is a team who, just a place that prides himself in sports. I feel like so it's gonna be really hard to win at home. But Mavericks, I think, I don't know, man. I just see something special in this team. I don't know what it is. Maybe just like nostalgic, wanting to see Kyrie kind of do it, not on his own, but like kind of be a leader on the team. Not with LeBron James on it and like have success in the playoffs. I would just like to see him like kind of complete this chapter of his story.
It almost feels like
a lot of bad media too. So like him having this run, I think it could be good for him. So
I feel like this is just like a shitty contest. I feel like it's a shitty contest. It's like, yay, let's play our hearts out for 7 games just to get whooped by the Minnesota Timberwolves or Denver Nuggets. It's like I saw a video of an Indiana Pacers fan reacting to the game, and he was like, "Let's go, all right, we won the series, like against the New York Knicks next." Like he was in a super monotone, just so depressed.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think about though, the fact that like, I guess we can just. Like the fact that these are the teams that are left, like the Pacers are now in the second round, the Cavs are in the second round, the Timberwolves, like even the Knicks to an extent, like the Thunder, like who at the start of the season, these are not the teams people were talking about being potential conference final teams. Like the Knicks or the Pacers will be in the conference finals, not Milwaukee, not Philly, and like over the side, like the Thunder, there's a good chance the Thunder will be in the conference finals and the Timberwolves will be in the conference finals. If you said that at the beginning of the season when we had Denver, the Clippers rearing up, Phoenix looking packed,
I would have laughed.
The Lakers coming off the conference finals, no one would have predicted this.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we do this then? Let's predict the last 4 teams that are going to be remaining in the playoffs.
So the winners of these rounds, the 4 winners of this round.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
Boston, New York, Dallas, Minnesota.
Okay. I'm gonna go Knicks. I'm gonna go.
Don't you say Cavs? Sorry,
Boston. I can't
can't
even be a hater. Boston's definitely winning that.
Not a hater. It's just the facts.
Now we're gonna go to the Wild Wild West. I got the Timberwolves. I'm sorry, Chicken Nuggets. It's time to put that special on. And then I have, man, we might be the same on where I might have to say the Mavericks. I need to see the Luka and Kyrie redemption arc. I need to see it. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll stay with that. Sorry, I was kind of monologuing a little bit. I'm gonna take the Timberwolves versus the Mavericks, and then on the other side, I'm gonna take the Knicks versus Celtics.
Okay, am I allowed to switch up because I did say Nuggets in 6 originally?
Yeah, you can switch up if you want.
I did say Nuggets in 6.
Switch up. It's okay.
All right, it's good. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Knicks Celtics. Bias, of course, and like I said, there's a good chance Indy beats us. They're a tough team. They probably should have beaten us last night. They absolutely could have. So if it's Boston, Indiana, wouldn't shock me at all. But bias, I'm gonna go Knicks Boston. I'll go Timberwolves just because they're up 2-0. If they weren't up 2-0, I wouldn't go with them. But I'll go Timberwolves. I'm still rooting for Denver. But I'm gonna go Timberwolves, and then OKC. I think OKC wins. I think
I respect that.
I know they're young.
I respect that.
I know Dallas has been playing really well. Like I said, I think Dallas will win 2 games and probably give them 2 more good ones. OKC in 6. I think there's a good chance Shea's gonna be the best player in the series. I really do. I think he's gonna outplay Luka, and I think if Shea outplays Luka, then Chet's gonna bring it. I think Jalen Williams might be the second best player. Or it's maybe the Thunder's second best player. I think Jalen Williams.
Just in the series overall.
And he's going to have some big scoring games. Mark my words. He'll have some multiple big scoring games in this series. I think that'll be the difference.
All right, guys. I think we can wrap it up here. I'm sorry we got to cut it short today, guys. We got really busy schedules, schools and stuff. So we gotta do what we gotta do. We appreciate every single one of y'all for tuning in every week. We appreciate our 19 subscribers with no likes. Get those likes up. Like the video, y'all. Like the video. How we got 19 subscribers and nobody likes our video? Like our video. Have a good day, y'all.
I got infinity money.